powers, rousing unseen potential within.
Boom! Just like that, Ichigo's a Shinigami.
Substitute Shinigami. To carry out his duties, Ichigo sheds his body for an invisible one made of spiritual matter called reishi. He can...
I'm not saying it was garbage, you know.
Afraid to fight dirty, throwing his shoes, using sleight of hand to place cigarettes on his foe to track them in the dark.
Personally, I'd call that smart. And his hand-to-hand is A+.
That's some Batman shit for sure.
He's matched expert...
Bam.
Treetime.
Yo, y'all. What's good? Shit. Y'all ain't never think you seen this. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna play some shit. Play the music.
Of Stark's puppets is hollow man. Look at me. Do I look like Iron Man? Stark is not.
Real quick. Okay. What we doing? I seen Death Battle dropped a new video, and I ain't watched that shit. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? Since I got that shit going, we finna watch it together. Nigga, what are you talking about? Time, bro. Hold on. If you don't know about this shit, I'm about to put you on. It's that shit, boy. Yeah, I've been slacking, but...
Ichigo Kurosaki.
Chill. Shit might be kind of loud. No, it's kind of quiet. It should be good.
Versus Yusuke Urameshi.
The substitute Shinigami of Bleach versus the spirit detective of Yu Yu Hakusho. He's Wiz.
I haven't watched. I watched fucking Bleach a little bit, like a couple seasons, I think. It was alright.
I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Tell me, Boomstick, what happens when we die?
Endless nothingness? Jeez, man, I don't know. We just started.
Our souls are ferried by Shinigami, gods of death, in an eternal cycle of death and rebirth.
That was my second guess.
And when a soul goes astray, warped by evil and regret, it's a Shinigami's job to purify such violent hollows and send them off to the realm of the dead, the Soul Society.
Works great, till it doesn't. Enter Ichigo Kurosaki, whose tragic anime backstory came way too early when his mom was killed by a hollow. Reason number one why you should never want your kid to be the anime protagonist.
Left with his grief, young Ichigo was crushed under the weight of survivor's guilt.
So he lashed out the only way he knew how, beating people up.
But this wound began to heal when he found his calling, upon meeting a Shinigami named Rukia. To stop a powerful hollow, she gave Ichigo her powers, rousing unseen potential within.
Boom! Just like that, Ichigo's a Shinigami.
Substitute Shinigami. To carry out his duties, Ichigo sheds his body for an invisible one made of spiritual matter called reishi. He can...
I'm not saying it was garbage, you know. I watched it more than Naruto, I think. I watched Naruto like one season. That was back in the day. I mean, not that far back in the day, but back in the day.
Wield vast amounts of spiritual energy, called Ryoku, and exert it offensively in the form of spiritual pressure.
I'm getting old ass nigga back in the day. What are you talking about?
Okay, that's a lot of big words, but all it really means is he's a super-powered ghost with an epic sword. His spirit aura is so strong, he can stun-lock foes, crushing them under his own power, even fatally.
He controls spirit matter in and around him, hardening his skin for defense and leaping off of invisible footholds in the air. Paired with speed-boosting skills like Shunpo, he can virtually fly.
I watched him fight.
Say goodbye to the kid who beat up bullies for their lunch money, and hello to the town's new superhero, with fellow Ghostbusters, Orihime, Chad, and Uryu. Plus Rukia, it was the Shinigami's job to tear hollows a new hole.
While balancing responsibilities at school, of course. GPA comes first, and maybe a round or two of tech.
But it wouldn't be possible without his Shinigami blade, a Zanpakuto. It's basically a super-powered spirit that's physically a sword. Ghost sword!
Though strangely, Ichigo's sword is composed of two distinct spirits, both named Zangetsu, which isn't confusing at all.
Just call him Old Man Zangetsu and Hollow Zangetsu. Anyway, the double ghost sword gives Ichigo lots of new moves, including his trademark attack, the sword beam to end all sword beams.
What is this? Why does it look so good? Where's this from? That's the question I gotta ask. Would I watch it? I don't know.
Getsuga Tensho!
Getsuga Tensho is incredibly powerful, and so effective that Ichigo developed multiple variants. He can fire it as a wave, detonate it mid-attack to act as a barrier, and combine two at once into the even stronger Getsuga Jujisho.
To cut even the biggest hollows down to size, Ichigo was ridiculously strong, even from frame 1.
He can make giant shockwaves and parry spiritual light beams from a Menos Grande. And these aren't fake, slower-than-light lasers. Guidebooks confirm they're real light, and the novels say so too.
Plus, early on, Uryu moved so fast that he left his own shadow behind.
But as Ichigo became more involved with the Soul Society, he quickly found that he wasn't good enough.
Facts.
The tabs you open here
Fuck off, bro.
are also
This Byakuya guy's so fast, Ichigo can't even see him. Time for a good old-fashioned training arc. Hit the music!
Until now, Zangetsu had operated only in its base state, Shikai. So Ichigo learned to release its inner power, a 10 times boost that takes most Shinigami a decade to master. Bankai!
In Bankai, his speed skyrocketed, letting him turn the tables on douchebag Byakuya. Even in Shikai, he blocked an attack that could destroy the whole friggin' Soul Society.
Because Ichigo's greatest gift is his potential to improve. Despite only being a teenager, he mastered swordsmanship well enough to thrash experts who had been training for centuries. He can quickly adapt to new weapons and styles mid-fight, surpassing his limits time and time again.
Like when he took on Catboy Grimjow. He was getting clamped, but as soon as he heard Orihime cheering him on, that was all he needed to smash that kitty.
You mean Grimjow, right?
Yeah, but even with that main character energy, Ichigo couldn't match Big Bad Aizen with just a finger.
I seen this, the dude that made, the Conquest shit, and, what is that, SCP thing? He did a Carnage thing. Oh, I might have to watch that.
Aizen stuffed Ichigo's Bankai and his theme song, Rude.
Ichigo needed to tap into his unexplained hollow power. Except Hollow Zangetsu wasn't going to make it easy.
Old man Zang's pretty chill, but this guy's a menace.
Still, Ichigo needed his help and conjured a hollow mask to expand his power. But this meant the hollow within only grew stronger.
Masked up, he can fire lasers, bypass super senses, and heal lost limbs. But piss him off enough, and he'll go full hollow. And you really don't want that.
Hollowification exceeds even Bankai, and was enough to crush Ukiura in a battle that shook all of Hueco Mundo, the world of hollows.
Full hollow Ichigo could even tear through all 3 layers of hell.
But with help from his secret Shinigami father, Ichigo continued to train for months in the Dangai, a corridor between dimensions, until he was finally ready to challenge Aizen.
Challenge is an understatement. He manhandled Aizen, shattered mountains with sheer aura, and flexed so hard he smashed out of the black coffin, which crushes space like a mini black hole.
And yet, it still wasn't enough. So by becoming Getsuga itself, Ichigo unleashed his ultimate attack, Mugetsu, defeating Aizen at the cost of all his power.
He might have saved everyone, but now it was back to Normieville.
Ichigo never truly realized until then just how much being a Shinigami meant to him. The power to protect others, his drive, his pride in himself was gone. He would give anything to get
me after
it back.
And he did, thanks to a surprise assist from Rukia. Boom! Shinigami again!
Just in time for a 1,000-year blood war with a final endgame boss, Yhwach,
who planned to end everything. And while other Shinigami tried their best, only Ichigo was special enough to pull it off.
His father was a Shinigami. His mother was a member of the ancient Quincy's and possessed by a hollow. Hence, his 2 Zanpakuto spirits, one Quincy, the other hollow and Shinigami, made Ichigo a perfect union to break Yhwach's plan. Finally, Ichigo understood himself, fully unifying with both Zanpakuto spirits within. With that came a new Shikai and
fucking lore in this. That's a lot of lore.
2 new Zanpakuto.
True Shikai! If you thought Ichigo was strong before, oh boy, he's the strongest Shinigami alive. They're dead. Undead? Yeah.
Stronger than Kenpachi, who could split the Dangai in half. Stronger than Senjumaru, who shook heaven and earth across the realms, and strong enough to match Yhwach even after he absorbed the Soul King.
Juiced up with Soul King power, Yhwach could nuke all 3 realms, the human world, Soul Society, and Hueco Mundo, plus the Dongai and Garganta in between, which have a bunch of pocket dimensions sprinkled in. Hell, just the Soul King's corpse sent a shockwave across all the realms.
And it's not a matter of disrupting the flow of souls. Yhwach was going to end everything.
I'm about to skip this shit, bro, because I know this dude, bro. I think y'all know this dude. Alright, let's see what
Most teenagers have no idea what they want to do with their life. However, that was hardly a problem for juvenile delinquent Yusuke Urameshi, because he only ever wanted to do one thing.
Throw hands! It don't matter who the ops are, be they women, old folk, or babies, Yusuke lived to fight. It's what gave life meaning. Who cares about stupid things like friends and family?
Which is why it was so surprising when one day he threw himself in front of a speeding car to save a child, bringing that reckless life to a screeching halt.
Truck-kun claims another victim.
But this is chapter 1 of a battle shonen, so death is hardly the end.
Surprisingly, though, it wasn't a spooky skeleton in a hood who arrived to claim Yusuke's soul. It was a blue-haired anime girl on a broomstick.
This was Botan, whose job was to ferry Yusuke's newly deceased spirit off to the afterlife.
Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for him, he was such an asshole that the underworld didn't see his selfless death coming and didn't have any space prepared for him. Imagine being such a menace to society that the second you do something nice, hell itself gets caught with his pants down.
So the underworld surrogate king, Koenma, offered Yusuke an alternative. He could return to life as an agent of the afterlife, a spirit detective, solving supernatural crimes and fighting off demonic threats to humanity.
Naturally, Yusuke did what anyone would do in that situation, and told Satan Jr. to stuff it. I mean, he was never really good for anything, and no one was gonna miss him. So what's the point of coming back to life? It's not like his mom would be sad, or his childhood sweetheart Keiko would be heartbroken, or even his rival Kuwabara would shed manly tears. Oh man.
At the sight of loved ones who cared far more than he ever expected, Yusuke had a change of heart and accepted Koenma's offer, returning to life with a new purpose and a new job.
And newfound ass-kicking ability. In his quest to beat the dog shit out of demon kind, Yusuke learned to harness Reiki, or spirit energy. He's ridiculously strong, fast, and durable, heals from wounds quickly, and can see spirits invisible to mortal men.
Even early on, Yusuke could parry Suzaku's lightning arrows, which are formed from real lightning called down from the sky. And with the help of legendary warrior Genkai, he mastered a signature move that could blast anyone to smithereens.
My favorite shonen move ever, the Spirit Gun. At first, Yusuke had a limited number of shots, but eventually he turned it into his personal WMD. Stronger than any weapon on Earth, he could go finger blasting around as much as he wants.
The Spirit Gun is more versatile than it appears. Yusuke can bounce it off surfaces for sneak attacks, propel himself around
this is gonna be, man,
like a rocket in flight, and produce massive explosions with each shot.
He can twist it up for a spirit shotgun, a mighty AoE blast, or a spirit punch, where he keeps the energy stored in his fists and clobbers the hell out of you. And the spirit wave, a Kamehameha from before we uncultured Americans knew what a Kamehameha was.
Yusuke may be a punk, but he's deceptively skilled and cunning in battle.
He's not afraid to fight dirty, throwing his shoes, using sleight of hand to place cigarettes on his foe to track them in the dark.
Personally, I'd call that smart, and his hand-to-hand is A+.
That's some Batman shit for sure.
He's matched experts like Kabano, who's said to have mastered all forms of martial combat.
But his best secret is how quickly he improves. All it takes is a round of training or someone threatening his friends, and
so should he say for sure, bro?
Yusuke's power will spike to match stronger enemies, even if it means literally burning through his own life force for a power-up.
All known demons and demon fighters are individually ranked on a scale of power from E to S.
E and D class demons are nothing special. We're talking local threats at best. C and B are getting a bit dicey in a destroy your city kind of way. A and S? Well, hold on to your ass.
EVE Online Combat immerses you in a universe with.
We're talking end of the world.
As Yusuke forged bonds with new allies, like demons Hiei and Kurama, as well as his old pal Kuwabara, he found himself facing opponents he couldn't beat, such as the monstrous Toguro, who could vaporize weaker demons and crush their souls with sheer aura.
But Yusuke needed to survive and protect his loved ones, so he had no choice but to rank up, even if it meant absorbing the power of a small star. Thanks, Genkai!
Our sun has an average luminosity of 380 septillion watts, or joules per second. Small stars like red dwarfs output about 1/10,000th of that. So this spirit orb's energy per second would equal about 9 million megatons of TNT.
Enough to send Toguro to the grave.
Even after pushing past his own limits, Yusuke would still need more power to face S-class threats like Sensui, a past spirit detective gone bad, and a great measuring stick for what top-tier demons are capable of.
Sensui was so yoked he couldn't even use all his power in the human world without threatening to bring down the whole thing. He compared destroying the whole goddamn planet to kicking an anthill.
According to Genkai, Yusuke could destroy the planet too, if he really wanted. And even A-class threats like King Enma have shaken both the demon and human worlds.
That Enema guy is strong as balls. In the past, he fought the Netherworld King Yakumo, who could eradicate the entire human world and remake the Netherworld.
But Yusuke's power surpassed both of them, to the point where he overloaded Yakumo with his own energy. And do keep in mind, Yusuke was still only A-class at the time, a far cry from S-classes like Sensui, whose sacred energy was 10 times his superior.
But not for long, sucker, because turns out, Yusuke was a demon himself.
Literally. Yusuke is the descendant of an ancient and incredibly powerful being, one of the strongest in existence, Ryzen, the Demon King.
With his Mizoku mark, Yusuke can channel Ryzen's spirit for a huge power boost and a massive thirst for murder boost. This was his first taste of a dangerous new type of spirit energy, Yoki,
a form of energy used by demons. Like normal Reiki, it can be amplified by intense emotions. Unlike normal Reiki, its use creates a pleasurable feeling, feeding into the user's rage and bloodlust, the feral animal within.
So Yusuke upgraded his spirit gun to a demon gun. It's the same thing, but red. Oh, and it's strong enough to blast Sensui past the horizon, putting Yusuke's power firmly in S-class.
And making him a prime candidate to rule the demon world. But as he was thrust into a tournament vying for that throne, Yusuke began to wonder if all this power was what he really wanted.
Self-reflection? From "I'll kick your ass, Yusuke Urameshi"? Nah, we can worry about that later. There's a tournament to win. Which one of you, girl, baby, or grandparents is first?
Even then, as Yusuke took on the Demon King Yomi in an epic final battle, he was still growing. He had become far stronger than before, even achieving a unique version of the Mizoku form separate from Ryzen's influence.
And a brand spanking new form of power. Kinda like Sensui's sacred energy, but even better. It's so unprecedented, it doesn't even have a name, but it's golden glowy.
Strong enough to clash with Yomi, creating an explosion that split the heavens above and decimated the Okunin tree below, pushing the Demon King himself to his absolute limits.
But then, Yusuke lost. It's not all bad though. Even if being king would have been cool, Yusuke realized he wanted something more. He'd grown up and chose to walk a new path.
It was always Yusuke's connections with others that motivated him above all else. And it was in those connections that he found his happy ending.
But I wouldn't piss him off if you can avoid it. Get him in the right mood or threaten the human world, and the spirit detective will beat your stupid ass.
Better see, nigga.
Long has its return been
Nigga, I'm about to watch this shit. Nah, my fault. That bad. I'm about to watch it.
foretold, but now, finally, it is reborn.
The original Death Battle shirt that once dominated the world. Hell yeah, there's no better way to wear a blood spatter on your chest.
We've restored the original shirt with even better materials, and it's available now on deathbattle.gg. That's our website that's also kind of like a Patreon.
There's a bunch of other merch there, like this awesome Mega Goose hoodie. Just don't let the gooses get it.
Website members can also see the entire Death Battle archive, including episodes that were banned from YouTube.
And even more behind-the-scenes goodies. Like, did you know our research team wrote up a massive blog all about the science of Ash versus Yugi? Wait, I lied. They wrote up 2!
Click the link below to support the show, look behind the scenes, and get cool merch at deathbattle.gg. All right. right, the combatants are set, and we've...
My nigga Ichigo, what you thought it was gonna be, bro? I don't think he got nothing for you. All the modes and type. All the modes and shit. Bro, what?
That's a demon.
That's a hollow.
No doubt about it. Spirit guide! Getsuga Tensho! No match!
Hollow.
Chump change. Huh?
Reckless idiot!
What a baby! Little demon energy got you scared?
Nah. Getsuga! Yujisho!
Two at once? Damn, why didn't I think of that?
Give in to me, Yusuke. Let's devour him together.
Hell no! This is my fight, jackass! You just told me back!
Yeesh, rude awakening. This one's a piece of work. Need a hand, partner?
Let's do it. Like old times.
On! Cut! Tensa! Gangetsu!
Is that the best you can do? I can go even faster if you'd like.
Hell yeah! Bring it on, asshole! I'll kill you even if it kills me! I'm putting it all on the line! You better do the same! Screw that!
Bro, I've been cooking though. Nigga, Plat. I'm Plat 2, I think.
Give me a freaking break.
See you on the other side.
KO! You, think the afterlife offers frequent flyer miles?
Hell out of that nigga, man. Bro, I'm not really that invested in this fight, but they was boxing. I knew Ichigo was gonna win. This nigga fighting babies and shit. We don't even need to hear the rest. Good shit, boy. Alright, y'all. If you wanna see more reactions and shit, let me know. I love y'all. Deuces.